Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back to the TV classroom. You know, Mr. Kevin back in the TV booth, he was dancing, and so Mabel decided she wanted to dance, and I thought I would join on in with our music. It's kind of fun to dance to, isn't it? Well, friends, happy Tuesday. Let's check in with our zone and see how we're feeling today. How are you feeling today? Are you in the blue zone, feeling kind of sad or tired? Or are you in the green zone, you're feeling good to go? Or maybe you have something you're worried about, or feeling really excited about something that's happening, or maybe something happened today and you are mad. What zone are you in today? What feeling are you having? Any of those feelings are okay. Even the mad feelings. They're okay feelings to have. It's what we do when we have those feelings that feel not very good, what we do about them. The best thing to do is to talk about them.
Well,
Mr.
Mrs.
Kevin?
Wally,
Yes.
I was going to ask you, how are you feeling today?
I'm in the green zone.
Good.
I'm really excited for our lesson today, and I'm just feeling good. How are you doing today, Mr. Kevin?
Well, I'm the same. I'm in the green zone. You know I love our True or False Tuesdays.
I know, and it's True or False Tuesday, which means Mr. Kevin gets to play with sound effects, and I'm excited. Okay, friends, let's take a look at our slide. Oh, before we begin, don't forget, not only to share how you're feeling with me and Mabel and Mr. Kevin, but share with someone around you. Tell them how you're feeling today. And don't forget to ask them how they're feeling today, too. You might even ask 3 or 4 people and have some conversations about your feelings. Okay, let's go to True and False Tuesday. Not true and false, true or false. Mabel, it's getting late in the afternoon, and sometimes my words get all jumbled. So if I say something wrong, will you let me know? Oh, thank you, I'm so glad. Take a look. What does this mean? 1, what does that plus sign thing mean? If we put it together. So if we have this, and we put it together with this, will we have 2? True or false? Look. 1, 2. 2 is the same as 2. Very good. Let's look at the next one. Okay, if we have this many, we put it together with this many, do we get 3? Is this the same as having this many? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's true. Okay. True or false? If I have this, PowerPoint. If I have this many on this side of the equal sign and this many on this side, is that true or false? False. Mr. Kevin, why is it false?
Well, I know how it could look confusing because you've got 2.
There's just
and you've
lots
got
of 2s
2
everywhere.
And another 2, but the equal sign is the key.
It means is the same as, right?
Right.
So this side right here, this whole thing has to be the same as this whole thing.
And they're not.
And they're not, because this has 4 and that only has 2. They're not the same. They're not equal. Okay. If I have this many and I put them together with this many, is that the same as having this many? True or false? True. If I have this many and I put it together with this many, is that the same as having that many? False. Today we are learning how to add. We've been talking about groups, we've been telling stories about adding, we've been using cubes and pictures and putting together and counting, and today we're gonna draw pictures. So it's really important that today you have something to draw on and something to draw with, and counters if you'd like them. Are you ready? Let's draw a picture that matches this top equation. What could we draw? Mr. Kevin, can you show my whiteboard?
Yes.
What might you draw on your paper or whiteboard?
How about if I show your whiteboard?
Oh, that would work. That's me. I mean, hi, friends. Okay. 1, I could draw one circle. And then I know there's going to be 3 more. So I'm going to draw 3 more. And I know when I'm putting them together and I'm going to count the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 plus 3 is the same as a whole group of 4. Oh, can you do the next one on your own? See if you can draw a picture for this one. Maybe you'll use different colors. I don't know. Maybe you only have one color. That's fine. Maybe you use circles and X's. You decide. Give you about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mr. Kevin, can you let me know when it's been 30 seconds?
It has now been 30 seconds.
Perfect. Friends, I don't know if you can hear it, but there are some very loud cars outside. Hang on. We're just going to let it drive by. That happens at home. That happens at school. It happens here on the TV classroom. All right. So that equation means this. I have 2. And I'm going to put it together with 3. And that is a total of how many? 5. Very good. Oh my, Mr. Kevin, can you show the whole PowerPoint?
Mm-hmm.
Look. Hello, friends.
Oh.
Oh, Mr. Kevin, it's definitely the afternoon.
I thought I had it, but I didn't.
Oh, friends. Oh, so funny. Okay. Now, I want you to get your counters out. If you don't have counters, you can draw. I'm going to draw the picture, but I want you to show it to me with counters on your whiteboard. You ready? How would we show 2 plus 1? And look, they don't tell us what it is. We have to figure it out. We are going to add today. Okay, just like we did at the warm-up, let's draw the 2 parts and then count it all together to find the whole. So can you build 2 with your counters? I'm going to draw 2. And then I like to do this thing called a break apart stick. And that tells me that I'm going to add the next part in the equation. So I've done 2. Now I'm going to add 1. How many do we have all together? How many do you see? There's 3. 2 plus 1 makes 3 or equals 3. Kiss your brain. Let's look at the next one. It says 3 plus 1 equals something. Can you build or draw that and find out what is 3 plus 1? Mabel, do you remember? What am I going to do first? The first part is 3. I need to draw 3 of something. Okay, I'm going to do 3 X's. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to do a break apart stick. And then I'm going to do the next part. So I've done the 3. Now I need to do the 1. And then how do I find out all of them? I count up everything I drew or built. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 and 1 more makes 4. 3 plus 1 equals 4. 3 plus 1 is 4 when I put it together. Okay, let's do the next one. Are you ready? 2 plus 2. What should we do, friends? What do you think? What should we do? What should we build or draw? 2 and then 2? Okay, I'm going to do that. You do it at home. 2, 2. Now what do? We count up everything we built or drew, but not the break apart stick. 2, 3, 4. There's 4 there. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. It makes 4. 2 plus 2 makes 4. Say it with me. 2 plus 2 makes 4. Let's look at the last one. It says 2 plus 3 equals something. What are we going to do, friends? Ooh, the first part we build or draw is 2. 1, 2. Break apart stick. The next part we build or draw is what? We've done the 2. 2 plus 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all together. 2 plus 3 must equal 5. 2 plus 3 makes 5. Say it with me. 2 plus 3 makes 5. Look at that. Now we have some of our animal pictures back. Does the picture of the sheep match the equation? The equation says 2 plus 1 equals something. Do we see a group of 2 and a group of 1? Mm-hmm. Group of 2, group of 1. If I count all of them, how many do I have? 3. Oh, I'm gonna get a different pen. Wrong color. Oh, Mr. Kevin, that loud car is making my brain wobbly. Okay, 2 plus 1 equals 3. All right, let's look at the pigs. Does it match our equation? 3 plus 1, a group of 3 and a group of 1. Yep. So I can count all the pigs. How many pigs do you count? If you said 4.
4.
Excellent job. 3 plus 1 equals 4. Now I have a question for you. Which is more, 2 plus 1 or 3 plus 1? Which one's more and how do you know? Pebble, what do you think? Which one's more? Why did you say 3 plus 1? Because there's more animals on there? What do you think, Mabel? Oh, Mabel said, well, with 2 plus 1, you only get 3. But with 3 plus 1, you get 4. And 4 is 1 more than 3. It comes next when we count. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is more because it's the number that comes next when you count. Okay, let's look at the last 2 problems. Does 2 plus 2 match the picture of the butterflies? It does. So how many butterflies are there altogether? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 butterflies all together. Very good, friends.
2 yellow and 2 blue.
2 yellow and 2 blue. Yesterday we had 4 yellow and 1 blue. Okay, take a look at our picture. We have to circle the number that we think is the answer. 2 plus 3. Look at the picture. How many chickies are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What number are we going to circle? 5. Great job today.
Ooh.
Dinosaurs. There are 2 red and blue dinosaurs and 3 orange and yellow dinosaurs. How many dinosaurs are there? Go ahead, use your counters, build it, and find the answer. You have 1 minute. Okay, friends, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Kiss your brains. Give yourself a pat on the back.
5 dinosaurs.
5 dinosaurs, yes. Today you're going to practice using pictures to help you solve addition equations. You're going to do page 341 and 342 in your math workbook. Today we learned how to add. We modeled the problem with a picture or counters. Then we used that model to find the total. We counted how many total there were in the picture for that problem, and then we wrote that number down for the total. Great job today, kindergartners. Mr. Kevin, how can they contact us here at the TV classroom?
Friends, ask your adult to help you out. And you could maybe draw some dinosaurs
Ooh,
and send them to us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe put an addition equation underneath.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be really fun.
We would love to see. And guess what?
I bet Mabel would love to see that.
Mabel would love to see that. We could hang it right on the wall behind you.
We could.
Mrs.
It'd be right
Wally.
here behind me on the wall.
So TV classroom at tacoma.k12.wa.us. And you can also mail things to us here at the TV classroom. We're at 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin. Now, friends, up next is Miss Oslin with ELA after your break. Get your ELA packet, your learning buddy, your learning notebook, and your pencil, and be ready to learn when she comes back on the screen. I hope you have a great rest of your day, friends, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Rules. 1. You have 10 seconds to pick your crewmate. 2. A new timer will appear with an exercise for the crewmate you picked. 3. You will get 10 points for each correct crewmate and exercise you choose. 4. If you pick the imposter, you will lose all your points. 5. See how many points you can get. Good luck.
Hi, kindergartners. Welcome back from your break. Excellent job being responsible in gathering your materials. You can take your pencil and your learning notebook and put them off to the side. You won't need those yet, but go ahead and hold on to your learning buddy if they're going to help you focus today. Now let's remind ourselves, your job when we come together today and every day is to listen, share, read, and write.
Right.
Let's remind ourselves about our active listening posture. active listening posture means, say this with me, eyes watching, ears listening, voice quiet. And if it helps you, your body is still. And even then, sometimes we find our brains start to think about something else. And if that happens, just give yourself some positive self-talk that sounds like, focus, self, focus.
Focus.
I have a really beautiful book to share with you today. This picture book called Wave is a book with no words at all. Even without any words, though, it tells an amazing story. We're going to study the front cover and think that the title is Wave. Make a prediction. What do you think this book is going to be about? Take some think time. Look really closely at that front cover. Turn and tell your learning buddy what your prediction is about the book, Wave. Mabel, I see a person looking at the wave of an ocean. So I wonder if it's about a character who goes to the ocean for the day and gets to play in the waves. I also see some birds. I wonder if they're going to play a role in our story. Now, this book, Wave, by Susie Lee, has on the inside front cover a little blurb that tells us a little bit about what the book is going to be about so that we can read this and then either confirm our thinking, say, yep, I was right, it was about a character going to the ocean and playing in the waves, or it'll help us change our thinking if we learn new information. So listen closely to what Susie Lee says about the book, Wave. A sunny day, a curious little girl, a playful wave. Artist Susie Lee has taken these 3 simple statements and created a visual tour de force that needs absolutely no words to tell its universal story. With a masterful use of line and color, she explores the power of the natural world, the nuance of friendship, and even the very components that make a book. So step into these deceptively simple pages for a day at the sea with a joyful story that begins and ends with a wave. Okay, so I was right. It is about a character, and we have more information now. It is a little girl who goes to the beach. And it says that it tells a universal story. So that must mean that it's about a common experience or an experience that a lot of people can understand and relate to no matter where they come from. And as I think about the title, Wave, and I think about the front cover, I know the main character is a curious little girl who wonders about and questions the world around her. And I know that because it says, a curious little girl. I also see and think that the sea and the waves are going to be an important part of this story because they're right there on the front cover and they're in the title, Wave. Today we're learning that readers distinguish between realistic and fantasy fiction as they make predictions and determine the meaning of the illustrations. What that means is we're going to decide if this story is realistic, it could really happen, or if it's fantasy, we say, no, that could never happen. And we're going to do that by making predictions and determining the meaning of the illustrations, which means we're going to think about what we think is going to happen, and we're going to read the pictures. And we're going to say, what are the pictures telling us? Okay, are you ready? Let's do this. Wave by Susie Lee. And right there, I notice that the little girl is running on the beach. She seems really excited, and it looks like it might be her mother walking behind her, carrying her shoes and an umbrella. I wonder if she's using the umbrella to shade herself from the sun. And it must be sunny because I see shadows. Did you notice that little detail that Susie Lee included, the shadows, to tell us that it's sunny? She didn't say it was a sunny day. She showed us with the shadows. Now, if I were going to read this story, I might say, one sunny day, a little girl raced across the beach with her mother. We're going to continue doing that as we read more in Wave. Oh, this is what I'm thinking as a storyteller. When she got to the sea, she stopped, watched, and listened to the sounds of the waves.
And she's got some friends.
I was just noticing that too, Mr. Kevin. The birds are also watching and waiting. I've never noticed birds doing that at the beach. They're usually flying around in my experience. What would you say if you were going to read this page? Turn and tell your learning buddy. The birds began to walk away, and the little girl turned her back on the ocean. Then she roared at the ocean. Now she's squatting down, kind of looking there. She looks really curious there. Like we learned that she's a curious little girl. She looks very curious right there. So do the birds. The birds are back looking at the ocean too. Oh, she's holding her hand up to the ocean as if to say, "Stop, wave." What do you think she's going to do next? What would you do next? Mm-hmm. What details do you notice? What is happening in this story? Our author and illustrator, Susie Lee, is showing us what's happening in the pictures. I have to say, this is what I would have done if I were the one at the ocean. I definitely would have jumped in and started kicking at the wave. Okay. How might the story sound here? We could say, then the little girl splashed, kicked, and played in the wave or the sea or the ocean. We could use lots of different words. The birds also are playing. Look at the detail on our character's face. How can you tell that she's feeling? How might we tell this part? Sometimes authors will use the word suddenly. How could you use the word suddenly to tell this part of the story? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy how you could tell this part of the story using the word suddenly. Mabel. Suddenly, the girl kicked the water so high it went up into the air, and she was very excited about that. Oh. The mood has changed. How would you tell this part of the story? Look really closely at the pictures, the details that Susie Lee has included. I might use the word suddenly here. Suddenly, the wave chased after the little girl. Oh, do you see what she's doing there? She's sticking her tongue out. The little girl teased the wave, almost daring the wave to get her. Got her. The little girl found a shell and she was really excited to show it to her mom. The birds were very curious about the shell as well.
Bye, wave.
Yeah, Susie Lee told us that the story began and ended with a wave. And I was thinking of the water wave because that's how it began, but I don't see a water wave on this page. But what is the little girl doing?
She's waving.
She's waving. She's waving goodbye to the wave. It did begin and end with a wave. So the little girl was friends with the wave. They had a great day playing together. Sometimes when storytellers use words, they often have story starters, which might sound like once, one day, or once upon a time. Now, as the story's going in the middle where all the action is, those are called story movers. It gets the story moving. And the words might sound like then, next, suddenly, after that, or later. And then we often have story enders, which is how the story ends. And we might hear finally, last, or in the end. We're going to practice using these words to tell this story again, paying really close attention to the details in the picture to help us tell this story. Okay, story starters. Once, one day, once upon a time. Story movers, then, next, suddenly, after that, and later. And then story enders, finally, last, and in the end. Are you ready to help me retell this story? Here we go. One day, a child went to the beach with their mother. Did you hear how I used that story starter, one day? Now, story movers, we could use first, next, then, last. It would probably make the most sense to use the word first, because this is at the beginning of the story. Take some think time. How would you read this story using the word first? Mr. Kevin, how would you read this page?
First, the little girl was afraid of the wave coming up onto the shore.
Oh.
She was unsure, so she ran away from it.
How could you tell that? What detail was there in the picture?
I see her running away from the wave.
Yeah.
And the little birds are running away too.
Mm-hmm. Story movers, we could say next, then, take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy how you would read this page using a story mover like next or then. Mabel, then they growled at the wave. Even the birds are flapping their wings like they're making themselves big to growl at the wave. She's not scared anymore, is she? Oh. story is still moving, so we could use next or then. We just used then, so maybe let's try next. Might sound like, next, they studied the wave. What would you say here? Yeah, maybe then she told the wave to stop.
Right. I like that.
Let's try using suddenly here. Suddenly, she jumped into the water and started splashing and playing with the wave. The birds joined in. We could include right here because there's a really big clue about how she's feeling, right? Susie Lee gave her a really big smile, so we could talk about how this made her feel.
She has a new friend.
She has a new friend.
The wave.
The wave is her friend now. They're playing together, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now what? What would you say here? She almost looks kind of sad or unsure again. Or maybe the wave kind of went away. She's like, what are you going to do next? She's unsure about what's going to happen, what the wave is going to do. Then the wave got really big and was chasing her and the birds. Do you think that she thinks that the wave will actually get her? Or do you think that she thinks that the wave will stop?
She's daring the wave.
She is. She's sticking her tongue out at the wave. I dare you to get me. Almost like they're playing tag. It's almost as if the wave brought her the gifts of the shells and the starfish. Mm-hmm. Brought her toys to play with at the beach. The little girl was really happy to show her mom what she found. In the end, the little girl is playing very calmly with the wave. And when it was time to say goodbye, in the end, she waved to the wave.
I'll see you again, wave.
I'll see you next time. Now, let's think about this story. Is this story realistic? Could this really happen? Or is this fantasy? Could never really happen? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. Mabel, this is realistic. This could really happen. A little girl could really go to the beach with her mom and play in the waves. This is realistic. And I could tell because I told the story and made connections with it as I was reading. Today we learned how readers distinguish between realistic and fantasy fiction as they make predictions and determine the meaning of the illustrations. What we did was we stopped and thought about what might happen next, and then we looked really closely at the pictures to decide what is happening in the story, to distinguish that this story is realistic fiction. That's what you're going to practice when you're doing your independent reading today. Tell the story using the pictures. Try to use those story words that we learned once in the beginning, and the story movers, next, then, last, and your story enders, in the end, finally, to tell your story. And you're going to write down the words that you tell when you are reading the pictures in your books. And we would love for you to send those to us here at our TV classroom. Mr. Kevin, can you tell the kindergartners how they could send us their work?
Yes. All you have to do is ask your adult to help you send us an email. We would love to see a wave of emails about this story coming from you, students. TV Classroom at tacoma.k12.wa.us, or you can mail it to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Now it's time for our affirmation. This is the time of the day when we say positive things about ourselves before we go off to do our independent work. Today, your affirmation is, I belong. You belong in our community in Tacoma, you belong in your classroom, you belong in our TV classroom, and you belong in your family. So remind yourself of that right now. Say it out loud with me. I belong. Excellent job today, kindergartners. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you back here next time in our TV classroom. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.